Summers at our family's Georgia home meant solitude and freedom. With my parents away, I had the house to myself, a secluded canal-side property that promised relaxation and independence. On one particular evening, I decided to invite a friend over, and we planned to soak in the hot tub in the backyard. As we settled into the bubbling water, the night air was filled with tranquility. The stars glittered above, reflecting off the glassy surface of the canal. It was a perfect evening, and we relished the serenity. But as the night deepened, an eerie hush fell over the house. The usual sounds of nature that had once been comforting became unsettlingly silent. It was as if the world itself was holding its breath. We exchanged puzzled glances, wondering what could have caused this sudden shift. Then, the tranquility was shattered by a rhythmic sound coming from the canal. We strained to make sense of it, and it soon became apparent. It was the sound of someone kayaking. The oddity of the situation sent a chill down our spines. Who would be out kayaking at this hour in the darkness? Despite the growing unease, we watched as a shadowy figure paddled by. The obscurity of the night concealed the identity, leaving us with more questions than answers. While concern prickled at the edges of our minds, we reasoned that it was a public canal, and there could be a logical explanation. Later, after we had retreated to my upstairs bedroom, the night took a terrifying turn. An erratic, blinding white light pierced the darkness, casting eerie shadows across the room. Our initial confusion turned to dread as we realized the source of the light. Someone was waving a flashlight from the canal. It was the same kayaker we had seen earlier. Panic set in as we realized that the light was directed at us, as if the kayaker knew we were here. My friend Jane and I exchanged nervous glances. We turned off the TV, plunging the room into darkness, and decided to investigate, though Jane urged caution. As I approached the window, my heart pounded with a mix of curiosity and apprehension. I peered outside, and there he was, the kayaker still paddling in the canal. His flashlight remained focused on us. He claimed to be injured and unable to get out of the kayak, his voice carrying a note of desperation. I hesitated for a moment, considering whether to help. Jane urged caution, reminding me of the strange circumstances, but my empathy won out, and I decided to go outside to assist the stranger. After all, he was just a person in need, or so it seemed. With a sense of duty, I opened the back door and flicked on the yard lights. The outside air was charged with tension as I stepped onto the patio. However, as I began to walk toward the canal, an ear-piercing scream echoed from upstairs. It was Jane screaming my name in sheer terror. Panic surged through me, and I felt a presence approaching from the canal. A man was running towards me, his figure obscured by the darkness. Fear and instinct propelled me back inside the house. With adrenaline coursing through my veins, I slammed the door shut and locked it just in time. The man outside violently rattled the doorknob, trying to force his way in. Desperate to protect ourselves, I rushed to the kitchen and grabbed a knife holder, a makeshift weapon to defend against the intruder. Jane and I barricaded ourselves in my bedroom, our hearts racing as we awaited the arrival of the police. The minutes felt like hours as we listened to the sound of the intruder outside, his attempts to breach our defenses growing increasingly frantic. When the police finally arrived, they conducted a thorough search of the property. However, the intruder had vanished into the night, leaving no trace behind. What was even more unsettling was the disappearance of the kayak. As if it had never been there, we were left with unanswered questions, haunted by the true intentions of the mysterious kayaker. Had he been a genuine victim, or a sinister presence lurking in the darkness? The incident left an indelible mark on our peaceful summer night, a reminder that even in the most tranquil moments, danger can suddenly appear. Summers in our quaint town were a time of relaxation, and we often spent them at our family's cabin by the serene lake. The rustic cabin offered an escape from the daily hustle and bustle, and I cherished the peaceful solitude. One sunny afternoon, I invited my childhood friend Sarah to join me for a weekend getaway. The plan was to spend our days fishing by the lake, with the gentle lapping of the water and the distant chirping of birds as our only companions. Our first day was perfect. We set up our fishing gear by the shore, reminiscing about our childhood adventures while we waited for a bite. The afternoon sun bathed us in warmth, and the world seemed to slow down, embracing us in its tranquility. As the day waned and we began to think about dinner, we noticed something peculiar. Across the lake, a lone fisherman in a small boat was navigating the calm waters. It wasn't the sight of another fisherman that caught our attention, but the timing. It was late in the evening and most people would have already retreated to their cabins. Curiosity piqued. We continued to watch the mysterious figure. The orange hues of the setting sun reflected off the water, casting an enchanting glow over the lake. The lone fisherman's silhouette was serene against the backdrop of the fading light. The lake, once a mirror of tranquility, now felt different, as if it held a secret. I noticed Sarah's fascination mirrored my own. We decided to take a closer look, and the decision ignited our sense of adventure. As we approached the lake, the enigmatic fisherman seemed to be casting his line further into the waters. He wore a weathered hat that concealed most of his face, leaving us guessing about his identity. Although the sight wasn't alarming, it was unusual, and we couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. The sun had dipped below the horizon by the time we reached the shoreline. In the dim light, the lone fisherman's boat was drifting further into the lake. There was no sign of him on the boat, and it left us both bewildered. Where had he gone? Instinctively, we called out, asking if he needed any assistance. There was no response, only the soft ripples of the water in reply. We felt a chill run down our spines, a sense of foreboding in the air. Despite our unease, we decided to approach the vacant boat, wanting to ensure the fisherman's safety. We found his fishing gear neatly arranged, but no sign of the man himself. The quietness of the lake seemed to amplify our growing anxiety. We called out again, our voices echoing across the water, but the only response was the distant call of a loon. In the twilight, the lake held a mystique, and we felt like intruders in a secret world. Panic began to claw at us, and we contemplated our next steps. Should we search the lake, contact the authorities, or wait to see if the mysterious fisherman returned? It was a difficult decision, with the uncertainty of the situation weighing heavily on our minds. With a sense of trepidation, we decided to leave a note on the fisherman's boat and then return to the cabin. As we walked back, our footsteps echoing in the stillness, we couldn't help but feel that the lake held an enigmatic secret, one that we might never fully uncover. The night at the cabin was restless. We kept peering through the windows, watching the lake and hoping for a resolution. The moonlight danced on the water's surface, creating a play of shadows that seemed to taunt us with mysteries and secrets. Morning broke, and the lake remained tranquil, as if the events of the previous evening were nothing but a dream. We returned to the shore, but the fisherman and his boat were gone. Our note fluttered in the wind, untouched. The mystery of the lone fisherman haunted us. We never did discover what happened that evening, but the enigmatic experience left us with a deep appreciation for the unseen secrets of the world around us. Whether it was a mere oddity or something more profound, the memory of that evening stayed with us, a riddle that we might never solve,